Hey everyone, it's B, and you're listening to another episode of the In Your Feelings podcast. So, for those of you who are new here, In Your Feelings is a podcast I created with Thought Catalog that dives into the very real and very, very messy aspects of life that we are all navigating. I create these episodes just to have honest conversations about things like relationships and moving on and mental health, things that can feel really disheartening and confusing. And I have these conversations in the hopes that these 30 minutes or so make you feel less alone in what you're feeling and remind you that you aren't the only person who is dealing with certain things in life. And so this episode is going to be based around what it means to be the kind of person who overthinks and overloves. And I've said this before, I have always believed that one of the reasons why we overthink is because we overlove. Because we care so deeply about the people we give our hearts to. Because we want to protect them and ensure that we're showing up for them. Because we want to make sure that we're making them happy. And when you care deeply, you expend so much energy into those who come your way. You want the people in your life to feel special. You want the people in your life to feel heard and seen. You want to be the kind of friend or partner or sibling that reminds them that love is soft. And because of that, you're deeply perceptive, highly sensitive. You notice so much around you. You are so deeply aware of the needs of others. You're highly sensitive to the hearts of others, to their words, to changes in their energy, to their tone of voice, to the way that they act. Even when you're in a crowd, you're always trying to ensure that they are smiling, that they are happy, and you pick up on when they are not. You're deeply present with those that you love because you are always looking to protect them. And that kind of presence is beautiful. I've said it time and time again. I think that being that kind of person in this world is incredible. I think being the kind of person who loves so hard is awe-inspiring. I think souls like that need to be protected within themselves. I have always hoped for them to find the kind of love that loves them back with the same kind of intensity and dedication. But I've also said that it is both beautiful and burdensome to feel things so deeply. You can't love people in halves when you're like this. You just can't. You can't love with one foot out the door. It's all in all the time. You want to be there for everyone. You want to make sure that you're saying the right thing. You want to make sure that you're always sending the right text, that you're not upsetting someone you're close to, that you're not annoying them, that they feel nurtured. And that can make you want to love people in a very perfect way. It can kind of add perfectionism into the mix of the way that you care. And it can almost push you into this state of overthinking your heart, of overthinking your actions, of overthinking their place in your life, because you just want so deeply for the person you're giving your love to feel cared for. You just want to do it right and well and in a good, meaningful, intentional, deep way. And so I know that sometimes because of that, you can feel, or you've been made to feel, like you love a little too intensely. I know that sometimes your mind tries to convince you that it's too much. I know that sometimes you overthink the way you've shown up. You overthink the things you said, small details of the time you spent with these people, those moments where you weren't able to fully show up, those very human and very real moments where you might have had to choose yourself for a little while. I know your depth of loving can make you overthink that. I know it can make you worry that you need to be doing more and loving more and caring more, or doing less and loving less and caring less. Maybe your overthinking makes you feel like you need to be less available or more available, that you're going to lose them if you do X or Y or Z. I know your mind is not often a peaceful place to be because your heart asks so much of you. I know that sometimes you feel like you aren't enough for the people that you love, that your mind can convince you that they're better off, that your mind can work itself in circles telling you that you aren't loving them well, that you aren't giving them enough, that you hold no weight in their life, that they aren't appreciative or understanding of what you are giving them, that they are indifferent to the way that you care. And I know that sometimes when you're a highly sensitive person, when you do care so deeply and overthink due to your heart and your perfectionism and your empathy and your compassion, it can make you, in a way, overcompensate. It can make you overlove. It can make you continue to pour and pour and pour into situations that aren't growing you or actually fulfilling you. It can make you want to show up in your life extra hard. It can make you want to crash your heart into the people you care about even more. It can make you want to forgive things that happened to you at the hands of others that you didn't deserve because you so deeply want to believe in the beauty that you feel, the potential that you feel, the hope you have for other people. You convince yourself that you're not hurt. But in doing so, you let your heart down and you let your mind down, because now your mind is an overwhelming place to be. You want to love and you want to pour out and you want to give and give and give, but now you're on the defense. You overthink every action. You overthink if the love you feel is real. You overthink the way that you've cared. You question if it was enough, if it's what drove someone to do what they did to you, if your heart is what drove someone to treat you without respect or hurt you or cause you pain or disregard your feelings. You wonder if it's because you love too much or if you're too sensitive. And that's why having such a sensitive heart, loving with every piece of your patchwork soul, that is why being this kind of person often causes you to overthink and be defensive. When your mind spirals, it can force you to close yourself off, to isolate yourself, which is difficult for someone who just wants to connect. Your sensitivity, your heart leaps towards love and feeling and expression. But your mind makes you question that. Makes you wonder if it's worth it. Makes you think you're going to get hurt again. It can be really hard to juggle that. To be the person who feels so much and who loves so deeply, but who also has a brain that sometimes makes them question if that's even accepted in this world or this generation. And I know that this can make you question your happiness. Overthinking can make you question when people are going to leave. It can make you ruminate on their happiness, on if they're being honest when they tell you that they love you. It can make you question if they're going to walk away or when they're going to walk away. You're kind of always waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the other person to lay their love down. When you care so deeply, you don't want to lose what you have. And that is so deeply saddening. I know how hard it can be to live with the kind of mind that mulls over every detail, every change in energy, every choice of words, etc., etc., etc. I know how much that can exhaust a human soul. But you can't help the way your mind works at times. The way it sometimes challenges your heart or what you feel, the way it sometimes tries to protect you. Because here's the thing, people who overlove and overthink are often people who have been deeply hurt before. Patterns of overthinking, these kinds of intrusive thoughts that make you question yourself or your reality or your safety or your security within it, they don't just come from nothing. People who overlove and overthink are often people who have been blindsided before. People who overlove and overthink are often people who have been told that they weren't enough or that they were too much. They're often people who have been made to feel wrong for their hearts or for their minds, for the way they worry, for the way they care. People who overlove and overthink are often people who have been walked away from when they just needed someone the most. They've been let down by people they've trusted deeply. People who overlove and overthink are often people who have gone through so much at the hands of others. People who have tried to give their love to someone who took advantage of it or who did not value it. And because of that, people who overlove and overthink are often people who are scared of getting hurt again. It's that simple. And the polarity between caring deeply and also being afraid of experiencing the same hurt again, that polarity is just very difficult to hold within one's soul. It is exhausting, as I said before. It almost feels like you're trapped in a battle between wanting to give so much of your heart to another person and constantly questioning if they're going to value it, or constantly worrying that they're going to treat it like it has been treated in the past. And so I wanted to make a podcast that acknowledged that you aren't alone in that. In your mind or in your heart, I want all of you to feel seen in what you're dealing with and what you're carrying, because I know how heavy it is. And I want you to know that your mind isn't broken, that the way you leap towards overanalyzing and overthinking isn't crazy. It doesn't make you insane. It's a protection method you have learned over time based on the way you've been treated in this world. And so I have a few closing reminders for you if you resonated with anything I said prior to this. I have a few reminders for anyone who feels like they are this kind of human being in this world. So if you're currently overthinking something or someone or a connection or the love that you feel and the beauty that you feel in your heart, I just want you to know that you are enough. You are enough for the people you love, and I want you to remind yourself that you do not have to question the beauty you feel right now in this moment. You don't have to make love pain. You don't have to let your mind taint the beauty your heart is feeling. You are here to risk your heart, and your heart is beautiful. People would be so lucky to hold it in their hands. And the truth is, something that it took me a long time to learn is that life is going to gift each and every one of you moments that will make you believe in the hope and the tenderness that exists in this world. But it will also give you the opposite. It will weather you and challenge you, and I know how easy it is to let those moments make you forget about the hope that exists here. I know how easy it is to let those moments make you feel small or weak or like you have to close yourself off. But if you close yourself off to that potential pain, if you never allow yourself to try for something, to want something, to just care the way you want to care, to love the way you want to love, you will actively rob yourself of the potential beauty life has for you. The potential joy, the potential experiences that make something inside of you bubble over in awe. And yes, you may get hurt, but you also might fall into something deeply life-changing and kind and soft all over. And that is worth the risk. It is always worth the risk. Those polarities will always exist here. You cannot have one without the other. No one comes out of this life unscathed. You can't control it, but you can control what you feed. And if you continue to feed the part of your mind that tells you that you are too much, or that you aren't deserving of what has found you in life, you are going to feel deeply disconnected, in opposition of your heart. And listen, I know how hard it can be to stop overthinking. I know it can be hard to lay the past down, to stop letting it taint your future or what you're feeling right now. But I just want you to know that you are deserving of goodness. You are deserving of the empathy you give to others. You are deserving of the kindness you give to others. You're deserving of that energy. You don't have to question it, or overthink it, or catastrophize it. You deserve it, and it's going to find you. And I also need you to understand that you don't have to overlove when it comes to those in your life. The right people will know how to love you correctly. They will know how to take care of your mind. They will feel secure. You won't question their intentions or if they care. You won't have this feeling of needing to overcompensate, of needing to exhaust your heart. The right people will stay. And anything else is not for you. It's not for you. I need you to understand that. The right things, the right people, they don't get away. They connect. They always connect, and you have to trust that. And last but not least, please remember to overlove yourself, if anything. To make your mind a place of peace. To be kinder to yourself and compassionate with yourself. You give so much energy and so much love and so much depth to others. And it's important to reallocate some of that energy and some of that love and some of that depth back into yourself. You are your own home. And I know sometimes you overthink to the point of needing to overcompensate, and you pour and pour and give until you are exhausted and depleted. And I need you to really show up for yourself and defend your heart and protect it in a positive, loving way. Because you cannot sustain that kind of outpouring. No human being can. You have to take care of yourself. You have to understand that what you are doing is enough. That you are enough. That the love you give is good. That the love you give is enough. Commit to reminding yourself of that whenever those feelings flood your heart. Commit to reminding yourself that you deserve that kind of peace, that kind of clarity, that kind of understanding. You are enough. Please don't ever, ever forget that. Okay, I think that is all for today's episode. I hope you guys loved it. I hope it helped. I hope it calmed your mind, if even in the smallest way. I know what it's like to be this kind of person, the kind of person who cares so much and loves so hard, but also is sometimes afraid of getting hurt, or sometimes overthinks everything because they just want to show up so deeply in life for those that they love. I know what it's like, and I know how exhausting it can be. But I also know how beautiful it is to be this kind of person. And I also know what it's like to have people in your life who respect that and value that and nurture that, and those connections and those relationships are worth everything. They are everything. They are magic in this world. So keep showing up the way that you're showing up, and try your best to stop questioning it. Be all that you are, and the right things will find you. Until next time, just know that you're loved. Know that you're needed here. And thank you so much for listening.